Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at your major storm that's going to be impacting parts of the Northeast with some extremely strong wind gusts, and then also we're going to be seeing some very heavy precipitation along with that. So let's get right into it here with the National Weather Service. We have some red flag warnings in effect for parts of Wyoming, Utah, and then also this little blob in Oregon. Then in those kind of tan colors, that's a fire weather watch in effect for parts of Wyoming, South Dakota, into Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, some of Utah as well, and then most of Colorado actually. And then we have some wind advisories in effect once we get closer to the East Coast, and that's where you could be seeing those heaviest wind gusts, and then also some flood watches in effect for parts of northern upstate New York into Vermont, and then also for New Hampshire. Then also we have some flood watches in effect for parts of western Michigan, and then into the UP of Michigan and down into Indiana. You're going to be seeing some lakeshore flood advisories. Now we're going to look at the European model as far as precipitation, and this is going through 3-hour increments. Sorry about this dotted line. I really tried to get this off the screen, but it's something with the model run. It was acting a bit funny, I guess. So we're gonna have to cope with it, I guess. So right now, this big band of moisture is trying to move eastward, and it definitely will, and it's gonna bring some heavy wind gusts and some heavy rainfall with it as well. Now by tonight, you're seeing that rain moving into the tri-state area, into parts of New York, most of New Jersey getting some rainfall by now, and all of Pennsylvania, some of upstate New York, starting to move further and further north. New York and Philadelphia look to have the heaviest rainfall overnight into the evening hours, and then once we get into the morning hours, Long Island's really getting a lot of rainfall, as well as northern New Jersey moves out into New England, a bit of a wintry mix in there for southern New York into the Hudson Valley, and then it gets pushed a bit further north, where there's actually going to be some snowfall into parts of southern Vermont, and then also some higher elevations in northern upstate New York. And then you see those heaviest bands moving into Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and then really northern New England. Now it's kind of does a wraparound, and then it moves out of the area, just leaving some lingering snow showers and some rain showers with that, and then you just see some lingering showers, of course. Now we're going to look at our total rainfall from this system. Now we have zoomed in view of the Northeast, most of upstate New York into Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, really most of New England, upstate New York, and New Jersey, Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania really look to get the brunt of this system. 2 to 5 inches in some areas, 5 inches primarily reserved to parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, into western Massachusetts, and then into most of eastern upstate New York. And that's where you could definitely be seeing a threat of 3 to 5 inches. Once you get into New York and Philadelphia, that's where you're seeing about 1 to 2 inches, maybe half an inch, where some areas don't really pick up as much rainfall. And then once you get closer to the coast of New England, you're seeing right around 1 to 2, maybe some areas seeing 3 inches of rainfall. Now we're going to look at your snowfall here. You're seeing about, this would be through 48 hours through the entire run that we did, and that purple, that's about 6+ inches. I think the European model's doing it, overdoing it a bit, maybe 3 inches, maybe some areas see 5 or potentially 6 inches, but the European model showing maybe a foot of snowfall in these higher elevations, which I do not particularly agree with. Now we're gonna look at your wind gusts, and this map is in knots, not miles per hour. So here's the conversion for miles per hour to knots. It's you multiply the speed that it says on the map by 1.15, and then you get your wind speed in miles per hour. Now here's a little conversion chart. It's a little by 10. So 20 knots is 23 miles per hour, 30 knots, 34 miles per hour, 40 knots, 46 miles per hour, and the list goes on. And here we're going to have a view of the entire Northeast, and then I'm going to zoom in kind of in each little area. So here's the model run right now, and this is the max wind gust in this 6 hour time frame. So you're seeing around 40 mile per hour for much of the southern half of New Jersey, and then stretching into Long Island, Philadelphia, and then parts of the Delmarva. Then it really intensifies as you get uh, earlier into the day on Thursday, where some areas in coastal Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, and then even into Long Island, could be seeing 70 mile per hour knots, which is actually around 80 mile per hour in miles per hour. And then as it kind of moves north a little bit, you're seeing that get onshore of Maine, where that was actually some gusts right around 90 mile per hour, right around 90 mile per hour. It's around 93, 94 miles per hour, and then it kind of moves off. But much of the area is still right around 40, 50 miles per hour. And then once you get closer to Cape Cod, you're right around 55, 60 knots, which is around 70 miles per hour. And then it kind of tapers off as the storm moves further and further north. Now, here's a little refresher on how to do it. And here's another conversion chart. And we're going to look at your max gusts from this 72 hour time frame here. So this is a maximum gust, and we're going to kind of go area by area. Now, over this area, this is the max gust for this area, 66 miles per hour over parts of central coastal New Jersey. Then we have Philadelphia. You see about 52 miles per hour from this system, and DC is going to see about 58 mile per hour max wind gusts from this system. Now, Albany, New York is going to see right around 44 mile per hour max gusts. This is our max gust for this area, this zoomed in area, 85 miles per hour on eastern Long Island, and then New York City seeing a max gust of around 53 miles per hour. Now, as we zoom in to the Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Long Island area, you're going to be seeing a max gust in Boston right around 74 miles per hour. Then a max gust right here, right around eastern Cape Cod, right north of Nantucket, which is this little island right here. That's going to see a max gust of 95 miles per hour. 83 knots is 95 miles per hour. And then Hartford, Connecticut, seeing right around 52 miles per hour from that. Now we're going to zoom in on Vermont and New Hampshire. Burlington is going to see 58 miles per hour, and Mount Washington going to see right around 87 miles per hour. It's a high elevation Mount Washington, and that's why they're seeing higher wind gusts than most of the surrounding areas. And then Concord, New Hampshire, seeing around 63 miles per hour. Now as we go to Maine, Caribou, Maine, seeing around 48 miles per hour. Max gust in this area of 97 miles per hour, right near Bar Harbor, Maine. And then Portland, Maine, seeing right around 79 miles per hour. So definitely some very intense wind gusts could be impacting much of the areas in the Northeast. Now, if you did enjoy that video, please consider subscribing. I do upload right around 5 to 6 times a week. Of course, if there is some change in my schedule, I do notify you guys, usually in the video previous. Turn on notifications and like the video so that you never miss an upload. Now, thanks for watching the video. That was Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.